The film starts by showing a scene in a boxing gym in Korea where the owner, Choi, is busy tidying up the place. Choi is there with two adopted kids who are very dear to him, Gi-ri and Shin Woo. Unlike Gi-ri, who is known for being diligent, Shin Woo tends to be lazy when it comes to doing different activities. However, Shin Woo is talented in martial arts. He proved this by winning the District Boxing Olympics. Thanks to his victory, Shin Woo earned a scholarship from the government, which allowed both him and Gi-ri to attend a prestigious school in their city. On the first day of school, Shin Woo oversleeps, so he has to rush to get ready. Unfortunately, when he arrives at his new school, he's already late, and the hall monitor punishes him. Without any guilt, Shin Woo does push-ups along with the other late students. After finishing his punishment, Shin Woo heads to his new classroom to join his first lesson. However, his arrival immediately draws attention from all the students because, as a new student, he's already making an impression by being late on his first day. Feeling a bit awkward, Shin Woo walks over to Gi-ri, who is in the middle of introducing herself, as he waits for his turn. A little while later, Shin Woo and Gi-ri join the class for their lesson. Throughout the lesson, Shin Woo isn't paying attention to the teacher at all. Instead, he's dozing off, lucky enough to be sitting at the very back of the classroom, so no one notices. On the other hand, Shin Woo's lazy attitude catches the interest of his seatmate, Jin Hwan, who seems eager to be friends with him. It doesn't take long before Shin Woo and Jin Hwan become good buddies. They even buy the same snacks and drinks together at the cafeteria. After school, Shin Woo takes some time to practice boxing. He does this to become stronger and to be able to protect himself. While he's focused on training, his dad, Choi, shows up and scolds him after finding out that Shin Woo was late for school. Instead of apologizing, Shin Woo talks back, which only makes Choi even angrier. Meanwhile, Gi-ri is enjoying a bowl of spicy noodles while watching a drama, but Shin Woo comes along with chopsticks from the kitchen and grabs her noodles. Shin Woo's playful behavior annoys Gi-ri, and she insists that he replace her noodles and buy her ice cream. Because of this, Shin Woo heads to the convenience store, even digging into his own savings to buy food for Gi-ri. As he leaves the store, he notices a nerdy student being bullied by some troublemakers from their school. The nerdy student gets pushed and accidentally bumps into Shin Woo, causing Shin Woo's noodles and ice cream to fall. Not happy with this, Shin Woo confronts the troublemakers, asking them to pay him back for the spilled food. Instead of apologizing, the bullies just laugh at Shin Woo for daring to ask. One of the bullies, Yoon Jung, even mocks Shin Woo for his uncool appearance. Angered by the insult, Shin Woo throws a strong punch, knocking Yoon Jung out with a single hit. Surprisingly, some girls from Shin Woo's class record the whole scene. The nerdy student is impressed by Shin Woo's bravery, as this is the first time anyone has stood up to Yoon Jung, who always bullies weaker students. The nerdy student then offers Shin Woo money as a thank you for saving him. Just as Shin Woo is about to take it, he notices all the girls recording him. Not wanting to seem like he's doing it for money, Shin Woo decides to turn down the offer, even though he could really use the cash. When Shin Woo gets home, he hands Gi-ri her noodles and ice cream, but they're all crushed and messy. Seeing her ruined food, Gi-ri gets angry again and storms off to her room. The next morning, Shin Woo oversleeps once more and ends up having to do push-ups as punishment from the hall monitor. After that, he walks through the school hallway, feeling confused as he notices other students staring at him. Feeling suspicious, Shin Woo enters his classroom and sees his classmates looking at him with admiration. Curious, Shin Woo asks Jin Hwan why everyone keeps staring at him. Jin Hwan explains by showing him a video from yesterday of Shin Woo taking down Yoon Jung. Because of that video, the students are now impressed with Shin Woo's bravery in standing up to Yoon Jung and his gang, the school bullies. Some students even start seeing Shin Woo as a hero. At the same time, the leader of Yoon Jung's gang, Lee, feels furious after watching the video of Shin Woo beating up his gang member. Lee gets even angrier when he finds out that the video has gone viral, ruining his gang's reputation. Now, more students are starting to stand up against Lee's gang because they see Shin Woo as a hero. Despite his anger, Lee decides he wants to recruit Shin Woo into his gang to make his group stronger, hoping Shin Woo can be his enforcer. It turns out that Lee's parents own the school where Shin Woo studies, which is why Lee feels he can do whatever he wants and bully weaker students without consequences. After school, as usual, Shin Woo goes to train in Choi's boxing gym. In the middle of his training, a man named Joon-gi suddenly shows up and introduces himself, saying he wants to join the gym. Joon-gi promises that he'll come every day to train in martial arts. The next day, Shin Woo rushes off to school again because he's overslept. In class, he keeps dozing off and ignores the lessons until Lee's gang members come over to bother him as revenge. Gi-ri notices and steps in, asking Lee's gang to leave Shin Woo alone. One of Lee's gang members, upset by her interference, tries to intimidate Gi-ri, but Shin Woo quickly blocks him and challenges the group to a fight in the school hallway. Hearing this, students gather to watch as their hero takes on the bullies. As expected, Shin Woo easily defeats Lee's gang members. Unbeknownst to Shin Woo, this fight catches the attention of the student council president, Ji-sung, who becomes interested in talking to him. After the fight, Ji-sung calls Shin Woo to meet in the student council room. During their conversation, Ji-sung expresses admiration for Shin Woo's bravery in standing up to Lee's gang. She's impressed, saying it's rare to see someone with the courage to take down the school bullies. There, Ji-sung shares that she has been waiting for a hero like Shin Woo since none of the teachers dared to challenge Lee, the son of the school's owner. Hearing her praise, Shin Woo feels flustered and immediately falls for Ji-sung. Wanting to keep up his heroic image, he tells Ji-sung that he stood up to Lee's gang to put an end to bullying at school. After leaving the student council room, Shin Woo is approached by Lee, who has been waiting for him. But Lee isn't there for revenge, and instead, he wants to invite Shin Woo to join his gang. He even tries to tempt Shin Woo by offering him some money if he accepts. However, Shin Woo turns him down because he doesn't want to join a group of bullies just for money. After school, Shin Woo goes to a shop to buy Gi-ri her dream helmet. When he gives it to her, Gi-ri is thrilled and feels so happy. She even gets excited about going grocery shopping to cook a special meal for Shin Woo as a thank you. At the same time, Shin Woo heads to the supermarket to buy a drink. Unfortunately, when he gets to the cashier, he realizes he doesn't have enough money. Just then, Ji-sung shows up and pays for his drink. In return, she tells Shin Woo he has to go on a date with her, so they can get to know each other better. Since Shin Woo has had a crush on Ji-sung, he happily agrees to her offer. That night, Gi-ri is busy cooking a delicious meal for Shin Woo, but he never comes home, which makes Gi-ri frustrated and start to resent him. The next day at school, Lee hears from his gang members that their reputation has been ruined ever since Shin Woo showed up. Furious, Lee slams his phone down, breaking it in anger. Meanwhile, Shin Woo feels jealous when he sees Ji-sung talking with Joon-gi. Curious about their closeness, Shin Woo gathers the courage to ask Joon-gi about his relationship with Ji-sung while they're training at the gym. Joon-gi explains that Ji-sung is his younger sister. Hearing this, Shin Woo feels relieved because now he thinks he has a chance to be Ji-sung's boyfriend. A little later, Choi approaches Shin Woo and Joon-gi. Choi praises Joon-gi's martial arts skills, saying they're even better than Shin Woo's. This makes Shin Woo annoyed because his dad is praising someone else. Determined to earn Choi's praise, Shin Woo decides to train harder. The next day at school, Lee's gang is back to bullying weaker students, trying to take their money. Luckily, members of the student council step in and tell them to stop. Ji-sung, annoyed by their actions, warns Lee to quit bullying others. She tells him that if he doesn't, she'll report him to Shin Woo. Hearing Ji-sung's threat, Lee feels angry and wants to go after her, but stops himself. Instead, he claims that sooner or later, Shin Woo will join his gang. Meanwhile, Shin Woo, who's napping in class, is approached by a large senior boy from the 3rd grade. This student challenges Shin Woo to a fight, making Shin Woo frustrated enough to knock him out. This fight amazes the other students once again, as they see Shin Woo's skills in defeating a senior. However, the teachers don't approve of Shin Woo's actions. He gets scolded by a teacher, who even calls Shin Woo's father, Choi, to come to the school. In the meeting with Choi, the teacher asks him to keep a closer watch on Shin Woo's behavior, as he's constantly getting into fights. Feeling embarrassed, Choi apologizes and promises to be stricter with his son to help him improve. That night, Shin Woo meets Ji-sung to tell her that he can no longer protect students from Lee's bullying gang. He explains that he's tired of always getting blamed by teachers who are too afraid to punish Lee. A few days later, something unexpected happens that Shin Woo approaches Lee, saying he wants to join his gang. Lee is thrilled to have the student who was always in his way now wanting to be part of his group. The other members are also happy to welcome Shin Woo, except for Yoon-jung, who still holds a grudge against him. Despite his feelings, Yoon-jung pretends to be happy out of respect for Lee's decision. At that time, Shin Woo's choice to join the bully gang shocks everyone. The other students feel disappointed, as they once saw him as a hero. Now they start to dislike and avoid him. During break time, Lee's gang invites Shin Woo to help them bully weaker students for money. While the gang is busy extorting students, Shin Woo secretly records their actions. After school, without Lee knowing, Yoon-jung gathers all his gang members to get revenge on Shin Woo. They plan to attack him, thinking he's at the boxing gym training. But when they arrive, they don't find Shin Woo and instead, they see Joon-gi practicing. Not realizing who Joon-gi is, Yoon-jung and his gang attack him. Outnumbered, Joon-gi can't hold them off and ends up getting beaten. In the middle of the fight, Gi-ri arrives and is shocked to see the gang wrecking her father's gym. Quickly, she pulls out her phone to call the police. But before she can make the call, Yoon-jung hits her from behind, knocking her unconscious. Yoon-jung's gang members panic and scold him for making Gi-ri pass out. Not wanting to get caught, they quickly leave the gym. Joon-gi then calls Shin Woo to come to the gym right away. When Shin Woo arrives, he's furious at Yoon-jung's actions that left Gi-ri unconscious. Without thinking twice, he heads straight to Lee's hideout, ready to get revenge on Yoon-jung. When Shin Woo arrives at the hideout, he doesn't waste any time. He fights Lee's gang fiercely, taking them down one by one. It doesn't take long before he defeats Yoon-jung. Then, Lee shows up to face Shin Woo, angry that his gang members were beaten. At first, Lee easily dodges Shin Woo's attacks because, unknown to most people, Lee is an MMA fighter who's won many championships, including an Olympic title. In this intense fight, Shin Woo starts to struggle and almost loses, but with his anger building, he finds the strength to keep going. He lands a powerful punch on Lee, knocking out one of Lee's teeth. With his final blow, Shin Woo wins the fight. Soon after, Ji-sung arrives, and Shin Woo hands her a phone filled with recordings of Lee's gang committing various crimes. He asks Ji-sung to report the gang's actions to the school so they can finally put an end to the bullying. A few days later, Shin Woo's school becomes a peaceful place for all students. Thanks to Shin Woo's efforts, the bullying and threats from Lee's gang are finally stopped. The students are proud of Shin Woo's bravery and call him a hero. In the final scene, Shin Woo is shown happily going about his school days, enjoying the peace with his friends. The film ends. The moral lesson from this film is sometimes beating up bullies can make you a hero, but only if you have a good excuse and someone to record it. And remember, if you're going to be late to school, make sure it's because you were busy saving it.